When we look at the historical leaders of the free world, we usually picture stoic figures carved in stone. We are taught to view them as cold, emotionless, calculating machines entirely focused on passing legislation. But look past the public portraits and into the rooms behind the Oval Office, and you find men writing steamy 1,000-page letters, surviving unimaginable grief, and risking their entire legacies on reckless impulses. These private lives reveal the specific emotional extremes that defined their time in office, ranging from absolute devotion to paralyzing grief and catastrophic deceit. To understand the men who built and led this country, we have to look past the sanitized textbook summaries and see who they loved. Some presidencies relied entirely on an unbreakable partnership. For John and Abigail Adams, the foundation of their power was absolute wholesome devotion. Their connection is documented by a staggering paper trail. They exchanged over 1,000 handwritten letters, openly declaring themselves soulmates to each other. A century later, Ulysses S. Grant and his wife Julia displayed that same intense loyalty. Julia made the highly unusual decision to leave the comforts of home and follow Grant directly into the muddy, dangerous encampments of the Civil War. This deep reliance carries right into the modern era. Harry Truman pursued his childhood sweetheart Bess for years, eventually writing her over 1,300 letters across their life together. For these leaders, the crushing weight and stress of the Oval Office was balanced by this absolute, unwavering devotion. Ultimate political power provides zero protection from sudden, paralyzing tragedy. On Valentine's Day in 1884, a young Theodore Roosevelt watched his mother pass away from illness. Hours later, in that exact same house, his young wife died too. Roosevelt opened his diary and simply wrote, "The light has gone out of my life." He abandoned his political rise in New York entirely, fleeing west to the rugged Dakota Territory to try and rebuild his broken mind. This same grief can paralyze the executive branch. Franklin Pierce took office just weeks after his 11-year-old son died in a horrific train derailment. His traumatized wife spent her entire tenure as First Lady isolating herself, writing letters to her deceased boy. Joe Biden faced a similar echo of tragedy when he lost his wife Nelia and infant daughter in a car crash mere weeks after his first Senate victory. For these leaders, the White House became an inescapable cage of mourning, where the duties of the presidency were secondary to the weight of their own grief. But where the immense pressure of office does not lead to devotion or grief, it very often breeds extreme deceit. Warren G. Harding maintained a 15-year double life with his close friend's wife. She eventually blackmailed him with over 1,000 pages of explicit letters, forcing political operatives to quietly pay her $20,000 to leave the country. John F. Kennedy operated with even less subtlety. His serial philandering with interns and Hollywood celebrities was a known reality among his staff, a pattern the Secret Service actively ignored. This culture of reckless entitlement reached a breaking point with Bill Clinton. His hidden Oval Office affairs erupted from a secret transgression into a televised spectacle that consumed the entire country. Absolute authority magnifies character flaws and feeds temptations until they shatter a presidency on the national stage. These stories suggest the Oval Office acts as a crucible for the human heart. The presidency serves as a massive magnifying glass, taking a leader's existing character and projecting it on the national stage. It takes their natural inner world, pure devotion, deep grief, or dangerous deceit, and scales it until their personal choices become the nation's history. The decisions that built the country were made by people driven by intense private passions. Beneath the marble monuments, these figures were ultimately just fragile, vulnerable people.